here we are in pursuit of a rather large common. This particular water I've just moved on to now, which is middle of May time. I've just caught the fish known as Pinky only last week, and I've just started to have a go on this little venue, which is probably about 8 acres in size, something like that. And at the moment there's really sort of an unknown quantity of carp in here, because it doesn't get carp fished much. It hasn't been carp fished much in the past, and all we know really is that there's an old stock of fish in here, and one of the fish that's in here is a really old common which has been moved into here. Now this particular fish, it's definitely over 40 years old. It's likely to be close to 50 years old, and he's a friend of Pinky, the fish that I caught only last week. He's got a lot of history to him, and the reason I know he's in here is because he's been seen by a couple of lads, and I myself have seen him only last week. And I knew he'd been moved into here. Well, there was rumours around that he'd been moved out of Pinky's home into this water, and now I've seen him with my own eyes. I'm really chuffed to know that he's safe and well, because there were rumours that he'd been moved elsewhere, but he's in here, which is good. And the other fish that are in here, not many at all, probably 15, 20 fish, something like that. You know, I seen the other day probably 7 or 8 of them, up to sort of mid-20s. I managed to catch one that was about 23, 24 pounds, really nice dark black mirror, which I managed to catch in the margins. Just sort of turned up and free lined a single boilie on him and caught one. So, you know, chuffed for that one. But I've seen another couple of decent fish in here, one of which is definitely close to 30, and I've just caught one this morning which is just down there in the retainer, which I think is possibly the second biggest carp to have ever been caught from this water, which is weighed in at 27 pounds. So we'll have a look at that one on the bank in a minute, but this is my target now for the next few weeks. I've got a week at Western Park in a couple of weeks' time, and the odd trip here and there elsewhere around the country, but this is the one venue that I'm going to be concentrating on because it's quite close to home, and it's very quiet as well, and it's just a nice water to fish because, as I say, it's got that sort of element of the unknown about it, even though I know that the main target in here is that common. But we'll see how we get on. That is an absolutely gorgeous fish, 27 pounder, which I don't recognise. I've never seen any photographs of this fish before, and the pit that I'm fishing is a little bit of the unknown at the moment, so you know, it's very likely that this fish has maybe only been caught once or twice before, or even never before. So I'm very privileged to be holding it. He looks an old warrior, and he's come up first light this morning, so very happy with that. Lovely gin clear water, and that is indeed a very nice fish to catch on my first week of fishing on this water. Let's see if he's going to go okay. He doesn't look like he's been caught much before, so when they're like that, especially if they're old fish, it can be a few minutes before they actually go. So just get that out of the way of his nose, and we'll see. There we go, he's alright. Yeah, that's a good fish, that is. Very happy with that one. Off to sulk. And I'm off to work. I wish I was staying for another few hours. That's lovely. It's one of those fantastically gorgeous spring evenings. Rain's just stopped. We've had a bit of a proper downpour whilst I was setting up and stuff, but conditions definitely look really good for a bite. And there's a look at the rods and the bivvy. Got the old scopes out today. 3 of the 9-footers. And I've got the BP10s on them as well. And then the new bobbins as well from Nash, the old slapheads. Slapheads to go with a slaphead angler, just like me. So yeah, very good conditions, and I'm really confident. We're in sort of the middle part of May now, 2016, and we're in search of the really old common known as split dorsal, which I've definitely seen in this lake. I've definitely seen him in here. He did used to reside in the same venue as Pinky, but I saw him the other day. I climbed a tree and saw him really close up, and let me just say, it's definitely him. The split dorsal was very, very obvious, and there ain't many carp in this lake that are close to 40 pounds either, so I'm happy to be fishing for him. I've had 3 fish already, not on this session, but 3 fish from a couple of 3 different trips, up to sort of 27 is the biggest so far. I've had a little one off the top as well, and a nice heavily scaled mirror as well, so looking good at the moment for another bite. Hopefully we'll get something at first light if we're lucky, but I'm pretty optimistic, which is always a nice sign. Well, I'm not sure if you can see that because the light levels are quite low, but it's late in the evening, it's late May, and I've literally just got here after work and set up, had me dinner, and this one's just rudely interrupted me. A lovely 26 pound mirror, so fantastic to get a nice fish like this on a lovely May evening, because the conditions are absolutely prime. It's got that lovely feel to the air, very sort of damp and light drizzle in the air, and the reeds are just starting to come up nicely on the lake at the moment as well, so it was a good old strong battle amongst the reeds, but the old Nash stuff did the job in the end, and we've got this one in the net, so great start. Let's hope we can get another good one before tomorrow morning, before I have to pack up to go to work. As you can imagine, when I saw the common scales of this one come up, I thought I've got the big one, but as soon as I saw the size of it, this one's only about half the size, so this one's weighed in at 23 pounds, but it's been very, very welcome this morning. Sort of quiet night last night, not much happened. Heard a few little tension bits and pieces splashing about, and wondered if I was going to get that early morning bite from a carp, and it has actually happened, so very, very welcome. So now I've got to pack up and head off to work. They're not bad for an overnight of 2 fish. Very happy. Well, you'd never guess it's summer, because we've not had much of a summer at the moment. This is July 2016. And it's hammering it down. I'm at the top end and I'm on fish. I've seen fish in the bay to my left down here, which is why I've got 2 rods down there. But as you can see, the lake really has changed a lot since I started fishing here earlier in the season, and the reeds have really got up, so I've got some really sort of hefty gear on at the moment. I've only lost a couple of fish so far this season, but I've got some really tough gear, and I've got 15 pound main line and a leader, and size 4 hooks at the moment as well. But yeah, the rain's coming down, the skies are looking pretty black over the back there, and I think we're about to have a storm in a minute. A bit of thunder and lightning probably. But I'm here for the night, just an overnighter in between work, and I must admit I'm a little bit sort of worn out at the moment, because I've only seen this fish that I want to catch just the once, and it is a little bit sort of tough on the mind at times, because I know there's fish movements in this area. I do keep seeing all of the other fish, but the big common that I'd like to catch, I've only seen him the once. Now whether that's a sign of him sort of playing hard to get and hiding himself away or what, I don't know, but it does play on your mind a little bit that he could have been moved somewhere else. But I'm going to persevere and see how we get on, because if he's in here, I'm sure sooner or later I will catch him. But yeah, we're doing an overnighter, and it's about 7 o'clock in the evening now, and we're just hoping that first thing in the morning, which seems to be the best time on here, around about 5 or 6 o'clock, one of these rods is going to burst into life. But hey ho, you never know, something might happen in a minute, because that is the beauty of carp fishing. You're just sitting there waiting, and sometimes it can be really, really unpredictable. seen this one in the water quite a few times, so to catch it, I'm really buzzing. It's an absolutely stunning northern carp, it really is. And it's an old one as well. And I thought my moment had gone this morning, bite time had passed, but then out of the blue this one's just tunnelled off from a new spot as well. So when those anglers turn around to you and say there's no northern carp worth catching, then think again, that is a stunner. Right, we're in early July now, and I've got to be quite quiet because you can see I'm fishing really close in down there. I've got a little spot going just in the margins down here. I've been trickling some bait in here quite regularly. Not too much because there's not many carp in here, but got handfuls here and there every couple of 3 nights, and it's paying off at the moment. I had a lovely 26-12 the other night. I had a couple of mid-20s as well from down there, and it is literally just less than a rod length out where I'm fishing. And as you can see with the rod set up, I'm all locked up there. I've got some pegs, they're bivvy pegs right at the back of the rests just to hold the rods into the ground, and then I've got the butt rings right up against the R3s, and the bank sticks are really sort of pushed well into the ground as well. Now the reels, they're not too locked up, they're quite tight, but what I tend to do when I'm fishing really close in is just have them fairly tight, because the power of some of these fish, when they go off, they can really sort of slam that rod down. And I have seen examples where, you know, fish pull so hard when you're locked up really close in that they can break the tip off. You've only got to look at a few of the French YouTube videos to see that, with 1 or 2 lads fishing on the rivers. But that's the setup. It's doing okay at the moment. I'm up to 10 fish now, and I've had from this swim, I think I've had half of those fish from just close in down here, so it is working. And I am seeing still 1 or 2 fish visiting this area as well. I haven't seen the big common for a while, but fingers crossed, you know, we're going to keep persevering and see if we can get him on the bank. But I know he does get caught in the summer months. He was caught from the back pit in the summer months, so hopefully going to see him make an appearance anytime soon. But yeah, that's the setup, and it's looking pretty good, and I'm fairly confident for the coming weeks ahead. Blackfish, and it's no wonder really, because it's absolutely gorgeous, cracking looking fish. And it's come up first light this morning, the only one that I've caught, and it's been caught from right under the rod tips, proper close range carping. Fantastic. There he goes. Well, it's absolutely perfect carp catching conditions this morning. It's very atmospheric, and we're in the middle of September when we've just had that really sort of hot weather. It was 34 down south, it's been 30 degrees up here, and I'm studying now in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, which is pretty unusual for September, but it's very good carp catching conditions. And I've sat here all day, all night I should say. I came here after work yesterday, and you're waiting for that one opportunity, and I got the opportunity. Just fishing tight in down here to this marginal bush down here, but unfortunately I've gone and messed it all up And it's bad angling on my part really, because when I cast out, my hook had a little bit of rust on it, and I scraped it off, and I should have, and I know I should have, changed the hook. Bad angling really. I've been using the same rigs for a few weeks now, and obviously when the rigs are cast out in the water, even if it's only for a few hours here and there, it does obviously cause a bit of wear and tear on them. And there was a little build-up of rust on the hook, and I just scraped it off, and I should have changed it, you know. No idea how big the fish was. And you know, the other thing that I'd cocked up on as well was when I was in a swim yesterday, I was fishing really locked up, and I had the reels really locked up tight. And what I should be doing, I'm fishing close in the margins down here like I am with this rod here, is I should have the clutch set to nice and tight, but not too tight that it can't take line. And I think on this occasion, just checking the reel now, it was a little bit too tight. So that combined with a bit of rust on the hook has gone and lost me a fish. And I don't know how big it was. It could have been the one opportunity that I'm going to get this year with the big one. I don't know. I just heard the alarm go a couple of times, and then just heard this fish just going through the reeds, just bolting off. So yeah, missed opportunity. Bad bit of angling, but you know, hey, we've got to persevere. I've only got a couple of months left really on here now, so my ticket runs out in a couple of months, and we'll see whether I can get it renewed. But you know, every single fish that I've lost, I sort of sit there thinking, is it the one that I've been after? I've only lost 3 this year, but when there's only a dozen fish in here and I'm doubling up on the fish, you do think, yeah, the ones that I'm losing going to be the one that I'm most wanting at the moment. But you know, that is angling. You just got to keep going, put it behind you, and move on forwards. And now I've got to get packed up and get off to work. But yeah, a bit gutted really, but it's not the only time I've lost a fish, so just got to keep moving forwards. Morning all, and now that isn't a bad sight to see at first light, because just before the sun came up, I had a hectic battle in some reeds, and we finally got the one we were after. That's the big common down there, a 38-pound beast of a northern carp, which is around 50 years old. It's got loads of stories to tell, and I can't wait to take a look at him on the mat. So let's have a look at him. There you go. What an absolutely gorgeous fish, and it's the perfect finishing touches to my campaign on this venue. I've started repeating up on the fish, started getting the recaptures, started doing my head in a little bit, thinking, am I ever going to get him? But then I got him in the end. What an absolute brute of a carp. A 50-year-old warrior, loads of stories to tell, and a massive smile on my face. It couldn't have ended any better. Perfect. Right then, this is a close-up on the rig that's eventually caught me the common, and it is basically no different to the kind of rig setups that I use elsewhere. On this occasion though, I've swapped my Fang X's for the Fang Twisters, and the reason for that is the Fang Twisters are a really strong pattern of hook. They're perfect for these snaggy and reedy areas that we've got on this water. Now my mate Steve Briggs really recommends these for places like Rainbow, so they're absolutely ideal for here. But what we've got is a 20mm bottom bait, which is then knotless knotted and then line aligned to the hook. We've got around about 8 inches of hook link. Now this particular hook link is missing link, which is a discontinued hook link by Nash. But I've still got a few spools in the garage, and they come out every now and again for when I'm fishing waters like this, because it's a very strong link. It's a coated link, but I've taken all of the coating off it, so what we're left with is this like really waxy braided material, which is perfect for a venue like this. It's very strong, and when you're battling with a big fish amongst the reeds, you want to have a lot of confidence in it, so that's why I'm using that. And then to finish the rig, what I've got is just a standard lead clip setup. Nice heavy lead there, 3.5 ounce lead, and then the rubber is just clipped nice and light onto the lead clip so that we're dropping the lead on the take. So there you have it, dead simple but dead effective, and as I say, on this occasion it's worked perfectly for me. There he is, just sat in the margins waiting to go. The big common. Proper magical moment for me. So amazing, because this fish has got so much history about it. Don't know how many times it's been moved in its life, but I'm not moving it any further than where I've caught it from. It's going back exactly to the venue where I had him. Lovely old fish, great fight and a great moment. Let's see if he'll go off. There he is. What a moment. Back off really strong. Perfect.